I was actually the second the national director of the program, but I was since year two, so I had the opportunity to really, first of all, get to learn so many different things that Portuguese universities, are capable of in terms of software engineering, information communication technologies, all sorts of networks, hardware, software, and at the same time combine that with the unique expertise in information and communication technologies that Carnegie Mellon is able to offer. And one of the things that really stayed with me since the beginning is Carnegie Mellon's ability to build multidisciplinary teams where you have psychologists working together with computer scientists, working together with economists to figure out, how to build technology that is not just technology, but it's actually technology that serves society and serves human beings in a very humanistic way. And so looking back, I think that there were a number of initiatives at the time that allowed Portuguese researchers and Portuguese students to self-calibrate in the sense that, like me, they realized that in certain areas, the type of work that we were capable of doing was as good as anything that we saw at Carnegie Mellon in the United States. But Carnegie Mellon was much, much better at presenting it, at entering the different networks that are required for that to have impact, and then creating products and companies and businesses. And so that's really also what I wanted to learn. And I think that when you look at companies like Veniam, companies like Unbabel, companies like Feedzai, you really see that having those people have those experience, be able to self-calibrate, have access to networks that otherwise were not possible to have, really made a huge difference. And I think it's a fact that for every euro that the government invested in the program, we already have a five-fold, tenfold return in terms of the business value that these companies that came out of the research projects are now generating. Sure, I always thought that the best way to learn something is to do it, and we wanted to learn how to build startups and build products and businesses. And so in March 2012, my colleague Susana Sargento from the University of Aveiro and myself, we just started together with two American partners, and we had developed in the drive-in project of the CMU Portugal program a very unique combination of hardware and software that enabled vehicles to share data with each other and with the internet and build mesh networks across entire cities. And companies started getting interested. And so we set out to raise money and start building those products. First to bring free Wi-Fi to people on buses, and then eventually to enable cars coming out of the factories to connect and do over-the-air software updates and other types of digital applications. And the tricky part really was figuring out how to go from a technology that came out of pure research done in the program to software that people can actually use and benefit from, and that you can monetize. So what kind of business models you can actually develop on top of that technology. And so that ended up being a 10-year journey with COVID and everything in between, where the automotive industry just stopped for several months. But at the end, we had the good fortune that one of our partners and customers decided to acquire the company and combine the platforms so that we're now in the process actually of making something much, much bigger than Veniam would have been able to do alone. And so having done the entire cycle, I think that one of the biggest assets we have is that over 10 years, we were able also to train a lot of people in things, not just in research and development, but also in product management, international sales, pricing, all of the things that are required for those technologies to have a real impact in people's lives. And from that perspective, looking at the evolution of the CMU Portugal program, I think that now we have a much wider range of expertise in Portugal. So the ability to leverage the types of technologies and people and networks that Carnegie Mellon has actually became bigger. So in a sense, it's not something that you say, oh, you've learned it and it's done and now it's over. It's much more a living process where at the end of 15, 16 years, you also have very strong personal relationships between the people that have been involved in all these projects, and you have generations of new people that want to learn not just the R&D part, but also the rest, how to basically put these technologies into a broader ecosystem. And I think we're at that stage where I think the collaboration can be even richer than before because the basis of expertise is even richer than before.